The starship Asterisk Aurora's Lament Asterisk drifted silently through the edge of the Gliese void, a region of space where even light seemed hesitant to travel. Captain Ileana Reeves stood on the observation deck, her dark eyes scanning the horizonless blackness through the reinforced viewport. The silence of the void had a way of crawling under the skin, making even the most battle-hardened veterans uneasy. "Captain," came the voice of First Officer Lurak Getin, a towering Threxian with iridescent scales that shimmered faintly in the dim light. His mandibles clicked nervously, a rare gesture for his kind. Sensors are still showing nothing. No radiation spikes, no energy readings. It's as if this entire sector is dead. Ileana crossed her arms, her lips pressing into a thin line. The Threxians were known for their stoicism and logical minds, but even Lurak looked rattled. She tilted her head, letting the silence hang between them before finally responding. "That doesn't mean nothing's out there." Her voice was calm, but the undercurrent of tension was unmistakable. "Humans have a saying, Lurak. When something feels off, it usually is. And right now, I got that itch." The Threxian tilted his head, his secondary eyes blinking in unison. "An itch." "A gut feeling," Ileana clarified. "You call it intuition. Humans have it when danger's near, even if the data says otherwise. It's not scientific, but it's saved more lives than I care to count." Before Lurak could respond, a sharp beat cut through the room. The sensor station on the far side of the deck flickered to life. Ensign Tasha Malik spun her chair around, her pale face illuminated by the green glow of her console. "Captain, I'm picking up faint distortions. Not energy, not matter. It's like..." She paused, struggling for the right words. "It's like space itself is folding in on itself and snapping back into place. It's faint, but definitely not natural." Lurak's mandibles twitched. A spatial anomaly? Perhaps remnants of an ancient star collapse? Ileana frowned. Or something else entirely. "Tasha, triangulate the distortion and give me a visual feed." Tasha's hands flew over the console. The main view screen came to life, showing a patch of utter blackness. It wasn't just the absence of light. It was a void within the void, a spot that seemed to devour even the faint starlight surrounding it. "What the hell?" Ileana whispered. Suddenly the deck lights flickered, plunging the room into a brief but disconcerting darkness. The hum of the ship's engines wavered, a low groan reverberating through the hull. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. "Engineering report," Ileana barked into her comm. Chief Engineer Harper's voice crackled through the speaker. "Captain, I got nothing on diagnostics. Power fluctuation shouldn't even be possible. But I'm telling you, something is messing with the ship." Lurak stepped closer to the viewport, his secondary arms twitching nervously. "Captain, we should leave this region immediately. Whatever is causing this, it is beyond our understanding." Ileana hesitated, her instincts warring with her training. Retreat was the logical choice, but something deep inside her screamed that leaving now would mean missing a critical piece of the puzzle. "Not yet," she said firmly. "Tasha, keep scanning. Harper, prepare the engines for an emergency jump just in case." Tasha's voice was suddenly tinged with panic. "Captain, the anomaly, it's moving." The view screen shifted, the void-like distortion expanding and contracting as it began to drift closer to the ship. It was slow, almost deliberate, as if it was aware of their presence. "What in the hell is that thing?" muttered Harper over the comm. "No idea," Ileana replied, her voice grim. "But I'll tell you one thing. I don't think it's a natural phenomenon." The anomaly stopped abruptly, hanging in space like a predator sizing up its prey. The crew waited in tense silence, the only sound the faint hum of the ship's systems. Then, without warning, a pulse of energy rippled outward, slamming into the Asterisk Aurora's Lament Asterisk. The ship shuddered violently. Lights burst, consoles sparked, and the artificial gravity flickered, sending loose objects tumbling. "Shields down," shouted Lurak. "Something's bypassed our systems." Ileana grabbed onto the nearest railing, her knuckles white. "Harper, get those engines online now." "Working on it, Captain," came the frantic reply. As the ship stabilized, a chilling realization struck Ileana. The anomaly wasn't just approaching, it was Asterisk communicating Asterisk. A low, resonant sound, halfway between a growl and a hum, echoed through the ship's speakers. Lurak's mandibles clicked furiously. "Captain, that's not interference. That's speech," Ileana finished, her voice barely above a whisper. "And it's not saying hello." The low, resonant hum emanating from the anomaly reverberated through the Asterisk Aurora's Lament Asterisk, shaking the nerves of every crew member. It wasn't random noise, it was structured, intentional, and it wasn't welcoming. "Captain, the anomaly is emitting some kind of signal," said Tasha, her voice trembling as her fingers danced across the console. "It's not on any standard frequency. It's Asterisk Alien Asterisk." Define alien ensign, Ileana snapped, gripping the edge of the console as the ship groaned under the pressure of the energy waves. It's layered, Captain, Tasha explained, her brow furrowed. Multiple data streams embedded within each other like a puzzle, but the underlying tone feels hostile. Ileana's jaw tightened. She turned to Luruk, whose eyes were fixed on the view screen, his mandibles clicking rhythmically in thought. Luruk, thoughts. The Threxian didn't respond immediately. When he finally spoke, his voice was heavy with unease. It is not speaking in a language we understand, but the intent is clear, a warning. Whatever this entity is, it does not want us here. As if in response, the anomaly pulsed again. This time, the ship lurched violently, throwing several crew members to the floor. Sparks showered from an overloaded console, and alarms blared throughout the deck. Captain. Harper's voice cut through the chaos over the comm. That thing just fried half our primary systems. If it hits us again, we're dead in the void. Suggestions, Harper? Ileana barked, pulling herself upright. Get the hell out of here. Harper shot back. I've got the engines primed for an emergency jump, but we need at least 30 seconds to charge. Ileana turned to Luruk, her voice steely. Can we hold out that long? The Threxian hesitated, his claws tapping against the console. Not without action. Whatever is disrupting our systems is targeting us on an energy level we cannot counter. The hum from the anomaly grew louder, vibrating through the hull. Suddenly, the lights dimmed and a new sound joined the mix, a low, guttural whisper that seemed to crawl into their very minds. Unworthy. The word wasn't spoken aloud, but every crew member felt it in their bones. A collective shiver ran through the room as fear gripped their hearts. Did anyone else hear that? Tasha asked, her voice barely audible. I heard it, Luruk said, his tone grim. It spoke directly into our minds. Such psychic communication is rare and dangerous. Ileana clenched her fists. Harper, status on the jump engines? 20 seconds. Harper replied, her voice strained. Good. We just need to buy some. The whisper came again, louder this time. Unworthy. Leave. The anomaly pulsed and the ship's artificial gravity faltered, sending the crew into a brief moment of weightlessness before slamming them back down. Captain, Tasha shouted. We've got incoming energy spikes. It's about to attack again. Ileana's mind raced. They couldn't fight this thing, not with conventional weapons. But humans had one advantage over most species in the galaxy: the ability to act on instinct even when logic said it was a lost cause. Tasha, she barked, can you isolate its energy signature? Tasha blinked in surprise but quickly nodded, her fingers flying over her console. I think so. Yes, I've got it. But I don't see how that helps us. Just trust me, Ileana said. Luruk, patch the energy signature into the comm array. Boost it with everything we've got. Captain, you're going to talk to it? Luruk asked, his mandibles flaring in disbelief. Not talk. Yell? Ileana grinned, a reckless glint in her eyes. If it's psychic, maybe it'll pick up on our intent the same way it's forcing its words into our heads. Luruk hesitated for a fraction of a second before nodding. It is a gamble, but perhaps one worth taking. Tasha, open the channel. Harper, get those engines ready to jump the moment I say so, Ileana ordered. The anomaly pulsed again, its voice booming directly into their minds. Leave. Or die. Ileana stepped forward, her voice steady and defiant. This is Captain Ileana Reeves of the Starship Asterisk Aurora's Lament Asterisk. You don't scare me. We're not here to invade, harm, or disrespect your space, but you don't get to dictate terms without a damn good reason. If you think humans just run when something feels wrong, you're about to learn differently. The ship groaned under another wave of energy, but the anomaly paused as if considering her words. Harper. Ileana asked quietly. Engines are ready, Captain, came the tense reply. Good, Ileana said, her gaze locked on the swirling void. Tasha transmitted feedback pulse through the comm array. Let's see how it likes its own energy reflected back at it. Tasha's hands moved quickly, and the ship's comm system hummed to life, amplifying the anomaly's energy signature and firing it back in a focused burst. The anomaly shuddered violently, its shape writhing as if in pain. That got its attention. Luruk exclaimed. Harper, jump us asterisk now asterisk. Ileana commanded. The ship lurched forward as the engines roared to life, dragging the asterisk Aurora's Lament Asterisk away from the anomaly at faster-than-light speeds. As the ship stabilized, the crew exhaled collectively, the tension in the room dissipating like steam. Captain, Tasha said, her voice shaky but relieved, the anomaly isn't following us. Ileana nodded, her expression unreadable. Good. But something tells me this isn't the last we'll hear of it. Luruk tilted his head. You believe it was more than a simple anomaly? Ileana's eyes narrowed as she stared at the blank view screen. Oh, it was something. And it knows we're out here now. The asterisk, Aurora's lament asterisk, hurtled through hyperspace, the hum of the engines a comforting backdrop against the unnerving silence that had settled on the bridge. Captain Ileana Reeves leaned over the command console, her eyes locked on the distorted starfield displayed on the view screen. The anomaly was gone, or at least, they were beyond its immediate reach. Yet the sense of unease clung to her like a second skin. "Status report," she ordered. Lurak stepped forward, his towering Threxian form casting long shadows in the dim light. Ship systems are stabilizing, though several secondary functions remain offline. Shields are operating at 40% and long-range sensors are struggling to recalibrate. Engines? Harper's voice crackled over the comm. "They're holding, Captain, but barely. Whatever that thing did to us, it scrambled our drive core. I'm keeping us in hyperspace, but we can't push it for long without risking a total burnout." Ileana sighed, running a hand through her short-cropped hair. "Understood. Harper, do what you can to get us back to full strength. I want options if this thing decides to follow us." Tasha, still pale and shaken, turned in her seat. "Captain, I've been reviewing the data we gathered on the anomaly. It wasn't just sending out energy pulses, it was asterisk scanning asterisk us." Ileana's head snapped toward the young ensign. "Scanning us? For what?" Tasha hesitated, her fingers trembling over the console. I'm not sure, but its energy signatures seemed to adapt. It started as raw interference, but by the time we hit it with that feedback pulse, it was mimicking parts of our own systems, almost like it was learning. Lurak's mandibles clicked sharply, a sentient entity then, perhaps even predatory in nature. "Predatory doesn't cover it," Ileana muttered. "If it was scanning us, it wasn't just curious, it was looking for weaknesses." Heavy silence fell over the bridge as the implications sank in. "Captain," Lurak said, his voice low, "if this entity can learn and adapt, it may not need to follow us. It may already know how to find us wherever we go." Tasha's console suddenly beeped, the sharp sound cutting through the tension. Her face blanched. "Captain, I'm picking up residual energy signatures in hyperspace, the same as the anomaly." Ileana felt her stomach drop. "It's here." "Not yet," Tasha replied quickly, "but it's probing, sending out tendrils of energy through the fabric of hyperspace. It's searching for us." "Damn it," Ileana hissed. She turned to Lurak. "What are the chances it can breach hyperspace and pull us out?" "Unknown," Lurak admitted, his mandibles twitching. "But if it possesses the capability to manipulate space-time at the level we observed, it is a distinct possibility." Ileana gritted her teeth, her mind racing. They couldn't outrun this thing forever, not with their systems compromised and the anomaly growing more aware of their presence. "Harper, what's the status on the jump drive?" she asked over the comm. A pause, then Harper's voice crackled through. "Barely operational, Captain. I can give you one more jump, but after that, we're dead in the water." "Noted," Ileana replied. She turned back to Tasha. "What about the data we fed it? The feedback pulse? Could we amplify it into a weapon?" Tasha frowned, considering the question. "Theoretically, yes. If we hit it with a stronger pulse, it might disrupt its structure long enough to force it back. But we need a power source far greater than what the ship can provide." Ileana's gaze shifted to Lurak. "What about the reactor?" Lurak's secondary arms folded in thought. "If we bypassed the safety protocols and routed all available power through the comm array, it could work, but it would leave us entirely defenseless." "Captain," Tasha interjected nervously, "that's a one-shot gamble. If it doesn't work." "If it doesn't work, we're dead anyway," Ileana said firmly. She straightened, her voice sharp with command. "Lurak, get to engineering and work with Harper to reroute the reactor's output. Tasha, calculate the energy pulse frequency and prepare to load it into the comm array." Lurak gave a brisk nod and hurried off the bridge, his heavy footsteps echoing down the corridor. As the crew scrambled to prepare, the ship shuddered violently. Alarms blared and the view screen flickered to life, showing a patch of hyperspace warping and twisting. The anomaly was tearing its way through, its dark, undulating form bleeding into their reality. "It's found us," Tasha cried. Ileana gripped the railing, her voice steady despite the chaos. "Hold your ground, people. We're not going down without a fight." The anomaly surged forward, its energy pulses slamming into the ship. Consoles exploded and the lights flickered ominously. The oppressive voice of the entity filled their minds once more. "Unworthy. You will be erased. Harper." Ileana shouted into the comm, status on the pulse. "Almost there." Harper yelled back, the sound of tools clanging in the background. 10 seconds. The anomaly loomed closer, its massive form enveloping the ship in shadow. Ileana's heart pounded as she watched it swell, a nightmare made manifest. "Harper, now!" she screamed. The ship trembled as the reactor's power surged through the comma ray. A blinding pulse of energy erupted from the ship, slamming into the anomaly with the force of a supernova. The entity writhed and twisted, its form fracturing and disintegrating into shards of light and shadow. The crew watched in stunned silence as the anomaly collapsed in on itself, disappearing into the void from which it had come. For a moment, there was only silence. Then the ship's systems began to stabilize, the hum of the engines returning to normal. "Report," Ileana said, her voice hoarse. Luruk's voice crackled over the comm. "The entity is gone, Captain. No residual energy signatures detected." Ileana exhaled slowly, the tension draining from her shoulders. "Good work, everyone. Harper, Luruk, get the reactor back online. Passionate, plot a course back to Alliance space. We're getting out of here." As the ship glided through hyperspace, Ileana leaned back in her chair, her gaze fixed on the stars. They had survived the encounter, but deep down she knew the entity wasn't truly gone. It had learned from them, and it would be watching. And when it returned, humanity would need to be ready.